A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well. Today I've just got one recipe for you guys, and that is because this recipe definitely deserves its own video. It's a salad that Rob and I have been absolutely obsessed with for about the last month. We've probably made it twice a week, and I dare say that I think that even someone who doesn't really like salads would like this salad. And one of the contributing factors to this, I think, is the creamy dressing that we make to coat the green veggies. It's made with cashews and vegan yogurt, so it has a little bit of tang and lots of luscious creaminess. And then for the base of the salad, I'm just using green veg. Then we're going to top it all off with either chickpeas that are seasoned and fried, so they're going on the salad warm, or I like to use these vegan chicken pieces that I prepare in the same way. And if you were to make this salad for someone who doesn't really like salads, I would definitely go for the vegan chicken pieces. But if you're a whole foodie like myself, then the chickpeas are definitely equally delicious. And if you're feeling fancy, then of course you can combine both. I will show you how to make both versions, or all three versions even. But yeah, this is what I'm sharing with you today. I'm excited for it. I really hope you will try this because I love it. And we're going to start by making the dressing. And for the base, I'm using cashews, like I mentioned. And I actually just pop these in raw, not soaked or anything, into my blender because my blender is strong enough to blend raw cashews. But if you have a slightly less powerful blender, then I would soak them first in some hot water for 15 minutes or cold water for a few hours just to soften them up. But yeah, I'm gonna add mine raw, hard like this, and let's make the dressing. To serve for, you need half a cup of cashews that go into the blender. I'm also adding in a quarter cup of vegan yogurt, and that should be unsweetened. Then I go in with half a cup of unsweetened soy milk. I'm also going to add in 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, which just gives everything a little bit more savory flavor. Next, I use the zest of half a lemon, as well as the juice that also goes into the blender. I season with salt and black pepper to taste, and then the dressing is ready to blend. And I like to blend it on the highest setting of my blender just to really blitz up those nuts until it's nice and smooth. This shouldn't take long at all, maybe 30 seconds to a minute on the highest setting. And then I just make sure that the seasoning is right and it's to my liking, and I transfer it to a glass or a jar. And as you can see, this dressing is pretty creamy, and that's what makes this salad so yummy. So that's the dressing done, and as you can see, it's super creamy and it's quite thick, but I like it like this. You don't need it to be very thin. We're going to toss it really thoroughly with the veggies. And I always like to do dressings first when I make salads. It gives them a chance to sit and marinate the flavors together, and yeah, they all get to get acquainted with each other in there. And I'm going to actually set this in the fridge while I prepare the rest of the salad, because when you blend things in the blender on a high speed, when it's not that much quantity of it, it goes a little bit warm. So I'm just going to put it in the fridge to cool. And next, I'm going to prepare the chickpeas or the vegan chicken, whichever you choose to use. I will show you how to make both. And I like to do this before I chop up the veggies, so I do that last so they stay really fresh. But before I cook these, I just want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video and tell you a little bit more about them. Squarespace is an all-in-one website builder with lots of great tools to make it easy to build a beautiful and well-functioning site without any previous knowledge about coding or website building. Personally, I've used Squarespace to create my online food photography portfolio, and I really like that it is so easy and intuitive to use. There are plenty of themes, font combinations, and color combos on Squarespace to get you started, and there are themes for many different purposes, so it's great for everyone from business owners and e-commerce all the way to creatives and bloggers. So if you're thinking about creating a website for any purpose, check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch your site, go to squarespace.com/goodeatings for 10% off your first website or domain. Alright, so let's get to the chickpeas and the vegan chicken now. And for the chickpeas, I just use a can of chickpeas that's been drained and rinsed. But if you want to use vegan chicken, then this is the brand that I like. If you're here in Sweden, or I think they even have this brand in some places around Europe, then I really recommend these. They are the Hälsans Kök, very Swedish, fillet pieces. And they're made from soy. They have really great texture, and the flavor is really spot on as well. We even treated a friend to these, and he said it actually tasted like real chicken. So I think that's a good product if you want to make it for someone who's not vegan. And I'm gonna cook it with some seasonings. What I like to do is use some chicken seasoning. That goes really well on the chickpeas or the vegan chicken, or you could use steak seasoning if you have that on hand. What these two spice blends do is bring a lot of savory flavor to the recipe. So that's something we need to bring in the umami in this dish. And I'm also going to use some garlic powder, but it's very simple. So let's do it. I will show you how I do both. No matter if you choose chickpeas or vegan chicken, you're going to start with a skillet over medium heat and a tablespoon of oil warmed up in it. Then to serve for, I use 2 cans of chickpeas that go into the hot pan, along with 2 teaspoons of chicken seasoning and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And usually you don't need to season this with any extra salt because the chicken seasoning is usually pretty salty, but give it a taste and see if you need to. Either way, I just give everything a good mix, and I saute the chickpeas until they're golden. If you did opt for the vegan chicken, you do pretty much the same thing. I add 320 grams of frozen vegan chicken pieces to the skillet, and I season in the same fashion. With the chicken pieces, I usually use a pair of scissors to make them smaller if they're very chunky, just to make them into nice bite-sized pieces. And then I would just leave them to fry on a lower heat until they're golden, same as the chickpeas. So then while that cooks, I prepare the salad ingredients. I actually came up with this recipe because I had a head of fennel, or a bulb of fennel maybe is the correct term, in the fridge, and I didn't quite know what to do with it. But I also had a lot of other veggies like romaine and rocket. So these are the 3 main base components of the salad. It makes it really crunchy and fresh, and obviously romaine doesn't have a lot of flavor, but rocket, or arugula as it's also called, does have a lot of peppery flavor. But I will say that even for someone who doesn't like rocket, like Rob or my mom even, who's tried the salad as well, they do like it because the creamy dressing sort of mellows everything down. So don't worry if you're not a huge fan of rocket, it won't be super peppery and spicy. And then the last veggie that's going in the base is cucumber for freshness, juiciness, and brightness. And then I'm going to top the salad with some other little gems that's really going to make the salad pop. But now let's get started on the green base for the salad. I start off with a whole head of romaine lettuce that I slice into these chunky slices that I then like to loosen up with my hands. And this just makes sure that I can toss everything nicely later. So when that's all nicely pulled apart, I transfer it to a large mixing bowl and I get started on the fennel. And with the fennel, I always like to cut it in half first and cut off the long bits at the end, and then cut it into quarters so that I can slice it nice and fine. I really try to slice this as finely as possible. You could also use a mandolin for that if you prefer. Then I also like to slice up these long bits that come off the top. I just half them and slice them finely too. Next, I slice up some cucumber, and I'm using half of a large cucumber here that I half and then quarter, and then I slice it finely. And these are the 3 veggies we need to chop for the base of the salad, but I'm also going to slice some shallots that are going to go as a little topping when we dress the salad. So I like to just peel them, half them, and slice them as finely as I can lengthways, and then I transfer them to a little bowl and set them aside till later. I add the fennel and the cucumber to the bowl with the romaine, and I also put in 4 handfuls of rocket or arugula before I get my dressing from the fridge and add it to the bowl as well. And then it's ready to toss, and because the dressing is quite thick, you're going to need to toss it very thoroughly and make sure that the dressing coats everything and doesn't get stuck in sticky places, if you know what I mean. When all the greens are nicely tossed, you're ready to serve, and I just like to do this in bowls with a generous amount of the greens that I then top with the sauteed chickpeas or the sauteed vegan chicken, or a mixture of the two. And if you wanted to do a mixture of the two, of course you could fry the vegan chicken along with the chickpeas in the frying pan all together. Next, I just sprinkle on those sliced shallots that just adds a little bit of spiciness on the top, and then I add something that really just brings this salad to a whole new level, and it's marinated artichoke hearts. This is like a little bit of luxury on your salad. It's really delicious. I can't explain how good these are, so don't leave them out. Well, there you have it, my current favorite salad, our go-to, our true friend and confidant. No, but seriously, this salad is really good. I hope you try it. And as always, I will link in the description box the full recipe written out on the website in case you want to see it all written out and get the ingredients for a shopping list and make it at home. It's definitely past my lunchtime now, so I'm excited to eat this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.